Welcome to the Local
724 podcast.
in 3, 2, 1.
All right, today on the show we have Ginny from Clarabella Beauty Bar. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks
That's
for
awesome.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you could join us on the show today.
Thanks.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just start with you telling us a little bit about you?
Sure. I opened Clarabella Beauty Bar here in Greensburg. It'll be 3 years in November. But this wasn't what I did my whole life. Well, let me back up a little here. We do nails and aesthetic services at our salon. So no hair services, just nails and skincare. And those are things I always loved. I love to do them for myself. But I went to college for business management. I went to Pitt, and I came out of college and went into sales. And that, at the time, was sort of my dream, was to go into, like, pharmaceutical or medical device sales.
Oh, yeah.
But then I had a baby, and then another one, and then another one. And yeah. And I decided I wanted to stay home. I really, really wanted that. And when the time came for me to kind of think about going back to work, well, I had a spray tan. This sounds so silly. I had a spray tan when I was pregnant with my last baby.
Okay.
And it just instantly made me feel so good. Like, I felt beautiful, and I felt just put together in 10 minutes, you know? So just, it had nothing to do with a business. Just, I love to do things like that for myself. So I bought a machine. So, you know, like people just do that, but I do. So I bought a machine and I learned how to do it. And then I started to think, wow, this would be really nice. Like, here I had, 3 little ones then at that point. So it was a production for me to go anywhere or do anything to take care of myself, to go out like that. So I thought, wow, it would be really nice if somebody could come to you and do that. And I thought, well, why don't I do that? So I did. I started this mobile tanning business, and it just blossomed, because if I was going to someone's house, they would invite people over, and then they loved it, and I was going to their house and meeting their friends. And
Tanning party.
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
It just, turned into this big client base from that. So as time was going by and my youngest was getting ready to go into preschool, I thought, what do I want to do? I don't really want to go back into sales, because that's really, I loved it, but it was really sort of a rat race. You know, like, the better I did, the more I had to do. That, You know what I mean? So, and I still wanted to be around for my kids. So I also had this sort of like epiphany at 36 too, just sort of outside of work or anything. And I realized I was twice as old as I was when I was 18, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when
I think about that a lot.
18, like, we think we have to have it all figured out. Mm-hmm. We're deciding what we want to go to college for. Sometimes we're, close to meeting the person we're going to be with.
Absolutely.
Like, all of that. You think you have it all figured out. And I realized, as I was watching people around me, that they were unhappy in their lives, but they thought, well, but this is it. I mean, this is what I decided. So this is it. This is what I have to do. And it was difficult, but I decided to go back to school when I was 36, because you have to have a license to do nails and aesthetics and things like that. And I thought, there's got to be something different out there, something that's really just dedicated to nails and aesthetics. And my salon has very, like, kind of boutique kind of feel to it. And
yeah, for sure.
We laugh a lot in there, and it's fun. Like, it's fun to come in and have your services done. Where I found as a client, sometimes going to other salons, the sort of like walk-in salons. It was almost just like, okay, today I have to go to the bank, I have to go to the post office, run to Sam's Club, get my nails done. It was like one more thing to kind of check off the list.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be more something that people looked forward to. So that's kind of how I designed my business and decided to go back for those. Because it was something I wanted, so I figured somebody else might want it too.
Yeah.
And turns out I was right.
Yeah,
So.
dude, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, I think like the whole the boutique feel is something so absolutely different than anything else. Like if there's like I don't even want to say like a big box store or anything like that, but just like a normal store that's, you know, kind of offering their services and stuff. You can feel when you go in there that it's a business. There's some places when you go in, you feel like you're hanging out with your friends.
Yes.
And that's what the boutique feel is. That's just such a relaxing place.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think people come in there not only for, you know, the amazing services that they're going to get, but for that atmosphere, for the feeling of, you know, knowing who you're supporting, who you're doing business with and things like that.
Right. And we really become friends with our clients. You know, it just happens naturally. We sit there, we talk, we laugh, and we get to know them. And, you know, it's funny, I had somebody in the other day and I asked her about something that she had mentioned the last time that she was in, like 3 weeks ago. And she said, "How did you remember that?" I don't know, because, you know, I just connect with people, I guess, which is really, it is my favorite part of my job. I love that. I love to make people feel good. I love to get to know them. I really do. And then at the end of the day, the fact that I get to make money doing that, I really feel sometimes like somebody, I always say this at work, like somebody's going to come in and say, "Just kidding. Like, get back in your cubicle. This is all a joke."
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's amazing.
Yeah. It's so wild. I mean, like, so when you were in sales, you know, what was, you wanted to do that. So that was something that you did want to do.
Right.
How did that corporate, just that rat race, how did that, like, that luster, how did that wear off?
Just kind of crushes your soul.
It really does.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I had that same sort of feeling then, connecting with my clients. And I think that was why I was successful at it, because, and, you know, I realized as time has gone by, everything I've ever done has made me not only who I am, but has helped to make me successful at what I do now, even if it doesn't seem related. And one of the things that clicked with me early on in sales, because I'm always thinking of it from the client's point of view, because at some point or other, I am a client, right? And when I was in sales, I thought, nobody wants to be sold. You know when you're being sold.
Absolutely.
You know, whereas, you know, when somebody's trying to help you with something or, you know, make your life a little easier or better or whatever. And that's what I tried to do. And there were times where I would meet with a client and I would say, "I don't think that I can help you, or I don't think that you really need a change right now." But when they did, I was there. Yeah. And I take that in to work now. You know, there are times that people will come in and ask for a service, and it might be the more expensive service, and I'll say, why do you want that? I don't think you need that. I don't like to just take people's money and you know.
It's important to be like that, because that's how you know, gain a loyal following of people, because they trust you. A
relationship, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we were having some work done on our house, and a contractor kind of did the same thing. He was just like, we don't really need to go that route. We can do this, and that, instead of, you know, this big thing. Right. And it was...
And now if you ever need anything done, like, that's your guy.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, it's such a cool way of doing business. And I try and do that in my own business too. I make like marketing videos and videos for like commercials and things like that, and for businesses. And, you know, if people were like, "Hey, we need to do, you know, this big grand shoot and things," sometimes I try and talk them the route of being more personable and just like, "Hey, why don't we just, like, you know, go this route?" And a lot of times that works out.
Yeah.
You know, and I probably just threw away $10,000 extra, but
right. But
you know
down
what I mean?
the road,
But
yeah, exactly.
they are customers of mine.
Right. And when they're talking to other people, they're telling them the kind of person that you are too, which is, you know, huge in our business.
For sure. Absolutely.
We started out, I had one employee, Brenda, and it was just the two of us. And there were days, you know, really starting out where it was quiet. We would sit there, we would do our own nails, we would do each other's nails, we would take pictures, put them on Instagram. One person walked in, our first walk-in client, who neither of us knew. You know, they just came in, and they told somebody and somebody else and somebody else. It's all so much word of mouth, and we have well over 2,000 clients now, loyal clients, regular clients, which is incredible.
It's amazing. Word of mouth is still the best marketing strategy on the planet.
For sure. And social media.
Yeah.
Thank God for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that you can do that would compare with somebody actually walking up to you and just saying, "Oh, I have a guy," or "I have a girl."
Yes, exactly.
That's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh
Truly.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, as a person, I think, like, you know, and I've talked about this on the show, like, as a person, like, when you're going into a business, like, when I go to like a big box place, like Walmart, Target, things like that, I'm always just like looking down and walking. I know what I'm going there for. I get it. I probably don't speak to anyone until I get to the register, and I'm like, okay, thank you, and goodbye.
Yeah.
When I go into like a boutique like kind of a place like that, I'm immediately talking to people because I feel more comfortable. Everything's not so fast. You can go in and just browse and like not feel like there's people watching you all the time.
Well, and you feel too like, okay, these people who are here created this. You can feel their heart in it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to just kind of blow by that either, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not just stuff on a shelf, you know?
For sure.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you were like starting the spray tan thing, like did you ask around? Did you get any, you know, information from anybody, any advice? Or did you just pulled the trigger and went for it?
There wasn't really a lot of advice to get.
Yeah.
Mobile spray tan businesses have become more popular over the years. This was about almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
So there wasn't anything around like it. I just thought, wow, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Again, as a customer, you know, it just kind of came into my head, and I find myself doing that. You know, I think we all do that. Like, oh, wouldn't it be great if somebody did this or invented this, or you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment. So when I get those ideas in my head, I'm like, how could I do this?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I see, like, I follow you guys on Instagram and stuff, and it's pretty neat to see the different style of like nails and things that you guys are doing. Like my wife came home a couple weeks ago, and she just wanted something white, so they did white, and then she had said something like, you know, maybe something, and they did like this coolest little, like, just like a little dot of black on each one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like so cool. Like, that blew me away. It's such a simple design.
It's so fun. It is so fun.
Like, how do you guys get into like the different kinds of designs?
Sometimes, often people will bring us Pinterest pictures and say,
Pinterest
"Oh,
is
love
huge.
this," you know. And it's funny though. I just had a client say the other day, "Oh my God, I bet you hate Pinterest." I'm like, "No, you know, I do. I appreciate it, but." Where it becomes difficult is you're basically asking me to recreate someone else's art.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And that's tough.
And then it is tough. But when somebody says, you know what, I want purple, and then do whatever you want. Oh my God, I love those clients. We love those clients. It's so much fun. And now it's just to the point where, you know, we're always looking and we're inspired by different things, but I might be inspired by just like wallpaper or something I see, you know what I mean? And I always, you know, like when there's a holiday or something like that, I'm always thinking like, okay, how could I kind of create like a nod to this? So I don't know. It's just, it's really fun.
I'm interested to see what you guys are going to come up with for like, 4th of July type stuff.
Oh,
what kind of
I
pictures
have
I'll
some
be seeing.
today. I can't wait. But what's really crazy though is I have a twin sister.
Really?
Yeah.
There's 2 of you running around.
There are 2 of me. Yes. So, she is a magnificent artist. I mean, she went in high school. She went to Votech for graphic arts, and then she went to the Art Institute. Mm-hmm. She holds painting classes for people.
Oh, wow.
They do like paint your pets. So, sorry. She'll take pictures of people's pets and kind of draw them out and then help people paint them and things like that. She's amazing. I was the math nerd.
Really?
Not the artist at all.
Oh my.
At all. Like, I don't even know where I pulled this from.
Math
this
is
ability.
like the scariest word to me.
Well, but what's funny is I will look at a design, or I will think of a design, and I'm thinking of it almost mathematically.
Oh man.
In my head.
You're one of those like savant type people.
I guess. But yeah, I'll think of a design and I'll think, okay, how do I have to layer this? Almost like putting a 3-dimensional puzzle together backwards, from the bottom up. But I don't know where I found this in myself.
That's so cool.
But I love it. I
see it a
it's
lot.
So fun.
With different types of artists, and you definitely have your creative bunch. The guys who are just like, they'll do whatever, it's nuts. And then, I'll use YouTube as an example. Like I shoot videos professionally. That's what I do. That's how I earn money. And, putting my videos out on YouTube and things like that, it's like, oh man, cool. I worked hard on this, blah, blah, blah. And then you run across somebody who doesn't shoot video, who is like an engineer, who has an amazing video. And I'm like, whoa, how did this guy like learn how to shoot this video? And I think that it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, they run across these, like the explanation of how to shoot a video. Yeah. And they take it very literally. Right. And they follow all of the instructions and they come up with, this insanely like cool mathematical way of engineering a video. And it's like, how did you do this? Like,
I don't know. I don't, but
that is so cool.
It's really fun.
So what's like some of the coolest things that have happened to you since you started your own business?
Oh my gosh. You know what? Honestly, the little things are what kind of get me. Just the things that I have to deal with that having a degree in business management did not prepare me for in any way whatsoever. Yeah. We had a situation where the neighbors were moving out. There's an apartment near us, and they stacked up a bunch of old televisions in our garbage. Oh, and I had to deal with that situation, because the garbage company wasn't going to take them, and I didn't have anything to do with them. So dealing with stuff like that, it's been a wild ride, and just really learning as I go. I did not know anything about Instagram when I started. Nothing. Yeah. And I can thank Instagram for the majority of my business, of people who just kind of find us. And even our regular clients that we have, that keeps us fresh in their mind too every day. But I didn't know what I was doing at all. Yeah. It's a tough thing to figure out. Yeah. Like for a lot of people, of all ages. Yeah. I feel like you really have to be in tune with, kind of the tips and tricks that, people have figured out. Like I'm actually, while I was sitting here waiting for you to come, I was looking at your Instagram and I noticed some cool things that you have going on there. And I was like, man, this is awesome. I need to pick your brain about Instagram. And then, really? Dude, it's so much fun. And like, I'm a marketing guy. It's just like, social, I would like to think is in my wheelhouse, but what I really excel in is making videos. Right. So it's not so much the tips and tricks on how to get it out there.
You know what?
So
yeah,
somebody
like the
taught me
Instagram
this
stuff.
right at the beginning. She said this and it just clicked. And it took me a little while to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I did, it made such a difference. So anybody listening who has a business or a blog or anything like that, and they're really trying to gain a following, a true following, because if you look at our following, it's not massive. We don't have 20,000 followers.
Right.
We have, I don't know, 2,200 followers, but they're all local. They're all real people, and
That's
they're all
important.
local. Like I could go and I could buy followers, and it's so tempting to do that. It's so easy. It's so tempting. It's a little scary because don't think like I've looked at that.
Sure,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I think everybody has.
Yeah, and you think, who am I giving my money to? And how many times are they going to take it? Am I getting scammed here? But, the truth of the matter is that doesn't help you at all. You can buy followers and they're just going to drop off anyway.
Right.
But the tip that I got was this. Don't think about what it is that you do. Think about who you're selling to. Who is your customer, right? So if you look at some of our hashtags, most of them have nothing to do with nails. And the ones that do have to do with nails, the truth is that it's other nail techs who are following those hashtags.
Yeah.
Still important. I still put them there. And that's the thing, like all around Pittsburgh, really all around the country. There are all these little nail salons like mine, or mine is like theirs, however. But we like cheer each other on and support each other. And we find each other through those hashtags too. But the hashtags, like I remember her telling me, I don't remember what it was she sold, but she said she would hashtag her, I think she sold lipstick or something. I don't know. But she would hashtag like short girl problems. And I'm like, what does that have to do with lipstick? And she was like, but it has to do with my market and the people who are going to buy from me, they're looking for that. And then they come across lipstick.
That's
right?
all.
Does
That's
that make
fascinating.
sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I think that's my problem. I try to hit all the like the camera stuff and this stuff.
But that only matters to like other guys who are making videos.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was like the thing, like in YouTube and stuff like that. Like all of my videos were geared towards like doing certain things with editing tricks and things like that. And I realized I was like, well, the guys who are looking at this already know how to do this.
Right.
Like I need to.
And so like if they like your stuff, that's awesome. That makes you feel good, but it doesn't move you forward.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I dumbed it down. I don't want to say dumbed it down, but I took it to a level of beginner.
Right.
People who were coming in that wanted to know, how do you take an SD card out of a camera?
Right.
How do you take the footage from that card and put it into your computer?
Right.
Then it was like, boom.
Then
Subscribers
because that's
shot
the person
up.
who really is interested in your content.
Yeah.
The other person who is posting and using those high level hashtags, I guess you could call them, they're bumping into your stuff when they just happen to put that hashtag on their own. But are they learning anything from you? Are they subscribing? Are they buying anything from you? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Absolutely. Because like everyone at that level is probably trying to do the exact same thing. So
and they've already invested in all their equipment. They're not, exactly.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's fascinating stuff. I love talking to people who like, I see who have it figured out.
Yeah.
Way more than I do, and it's like it's so much fun. I learned something.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
I don't
so
know.
Awesome.
I feel like a lot of my business and success has just been sort of accidental in a way.
Yeah.
Not fortunate accidents. You try something and you fail, and you try something and you realize, oh, that's working. I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah, keep doing it.
What else can I do?
Yeah.
So
that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So did you grow up around like this area or?
No, I didn't. I grew up in North Hills.
Okay.
Yeah. And I ended up here by marriage, actually.
Okay.
So about 20 years ago, I still think of myself as a Pittsburgher, but
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're so close. I think. I think we all do.
Everybody thinks. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you love about Greensburg?
I just love that it's a small town. You know, I love that everybody knows everybody. You know, and sometimes you hate that too. But yeah. But
There's good and bad.
As much as I've found my family and my friends and my home here, to a certain degree, I'm always sort of a foreigner, you know, to Greensburgers. They'll say, and it's really funny because, you know, in certain areas around town here, there are like families like these last names. This became a thing when we first opened up, and I'd say, "Oh, so and so, they must be related to so and so," and everybody would be like, "No, they're not related." I'm like, "But they have the same last name." It's like everybody else knows all the ancient history of families around here, and I don't. Still, I never will, but that's okay. That's maybe a good thing too. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have 2 locations. You have one in North Hills, correct?
Well, so this has been a crazy year, Jordan.
Yeah, a little bit.
So last year in January, I had 2 employees. I had one other nail tech and I had an esthetician. And she went back for nails because she saw what we were doing out front and she thought, I want to do that too. So she went back for nails, found a friend. I hired both of them.
Oh, cool.
And then last summer, I ended up hiring 3 more nail techs in addition to them. We used to just have a couple tables in the front, and I built a 6-seat bar.
Oh, cool.
Which is something I wanted to do at the very beginning anyway, but I didn't take out any loans or anything from my business. I saved and I paid cash for everything.
That's
and
awesome.
I kind of ran out of money. So when we first started out, I had tables from IKEA. They cost $8 a piece. I thought,
it's awesome.
okay, I can do this. Yeah.
That's the best thing I've ever done.
Yes.
I did the same thing.
Amazing.
I don't owe anybody anything.
No.
For my business
wonderful.
stuff anyway.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
I do have a car.
Yeah. So, you know, the year just exploded last year. And what happened was because I had hired these girls and they just kind of all fell in my lap. You know, it was just sort of the way it was supposed to be, I guess. I bumped myself off the schedule to make physical room for everybody to be able to work.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I was working every other day, and I went like that for a few months, and I thought, wait, I have all this time on my hands. I grew up in North Hills. I have followers from North Hills on my social media, and they're always saying, oh, I wish you were closer. I wish you were closer. So I had all this time on my hands, and I thought, well, what if I just went to North Hills and just sort of recreated what I did here? Just do it all over again, right? So I signed a lease on just like a 1-room studio there, just me kind of every other day. And I just came back and forth. So now I'm going from working 3 days a week to 6 days a week, but whatever, really 7, because I never have a day off. I'm always doing something. And it was amazing. So at Christmas time, we all got together out at Bella Terra. We had a Christmas party out there.
Oh, that place is awesome.
I know. So fun.
We were there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And we had a big picture taken for Christmas, and we had done it the year before. The year before, there were 3 of us and our receptionist in the picture, so 4 of us in the picture. This year, it's a huge picture. My staff, now I have 3 receptionists. I mean, I have 2 locations. It was amazing. And I remember saying that night, I get choked up. I get choked up all the time, especially as it's related to my business. There are days when I'm driving to work and it just sort of like swells up. Like I get choked up and I think, don't cry, you're going to ruin your makeup. You haven't
think that's
gotten
awesome.
there. Yeah. So I got so choked up and I was like, oh my God, look what happened this year. Can you even imagine what next year's going to be like? I'm getting to the answer to your question is, now here we are, right? I can't have my receptionist back because we're limited in capacity.
Yeah.
I'm losing one employee just because she has another job. She lives in Uniontown. She's so far away. It just works for her to be there. and I don't even think I'm putting myself back on the schedule just because of our restrictions, you know, limited in capacity and so forth. And it didn't go up this year, and we lost out on 3 months of business. So I don't think I'm going to be able. I haven't yet reopened my North Hills location. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because the rent's higher there. For me to split my resources and my time.
Yeah.
What I said when I was kind of thinking this through was, there have been so many times throughout my business where there was a time for risk, signing the lease initially, just coming up with this idea, that's a risk. That's a leap of faith.
Absolutely.
But I felt confident enough to do it. We started out with a paper appointment book, and I got a call from somebody asking, this is back in the beginning, if I wanted to do online booking. It was $99 a month. Oh my God. I thought, okay, how many clients do I have to cover this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you have to think it through. And I thought, okay, let's do it. And then now I've upgraded it. It's almost $400 a month. But those were leaps of faith, and they made sense. Building a bar, hiring more people, deciding on a second location. These are all risks and leaps of faith. But right now, in the conditions that we're all in, all of us, it just doesn't make sense to be risky.
Right.
It makes sense to just pull back and really care for the core of my business. Yep. And that's Greensburg. That's the family that I've built here between my clients and my employees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and
understandable.
As long as I have that, there's always the future. There's always a chance to do something more, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you never really know what's going to happen, because, I mean, just a month ago, or beginning of June, it was, okay, here we go. We're heading into the green and everything's going to be awesome. And, everybody opened up, and, that was kind of a fear that I had, was just like, are people going to, are we going to give them an inch? They're going to take a mile. And then are we going to end up back in the same position we were?
Right.
And it seems like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
that's my fear right now. I love going out and getting new things for us to play with and for our clients to get excited about. I'm always, highlighting a new color collection or a new product that we got in. We were going to bring in a new skincare line. Now we can't even do facials. That was kind of rolled back last week. But right now I'm just kind of buying the basics as we need them. Everything's great. I mean, business is booming, but I have this different mindset now. I just said the other day to my sister, I said, I understand our grandparents better now, who I know it's a wild comparison, but having gone through the Great Depression changed something in them. Us having gone through that, or through this, it changed something in us. It's more of like, we need to be a little more conservative with our resources and, kind of set money aside for a quarantine day. And,
it's wild. Yeah. I mean, we had some trips planned this summer, and, cruises and vacation and stuff like that. And, when this all started, it was just kind of like, okay, the cruise isn't until May. So, no big deal. No. We'll get through it. Well, May came and went, and it was like, oh, okay. So this got scheduled out to like, August or something, and it's got canceled again. Yeah. So we were just like, you know what? So we took all those resources that we, kind of dedicated towards these trips and vacations and things, and we thought, why don't we invest in our house? Let's do the projects that we've been talking about doing for 3 years at this point. Let's get that going. Yeah. And so they closed down like the pools and stuff like that for the summer. So we were like, let's do it. Let's add a pool. So we got a pool, and we're starting to like chip away at some things like in our backyard, what we've wanted to do forever. And so
we were doing that too while we were shut down.
There's good things going on because of it, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm also kind of like, well, maybe we should hold on to, we want to build a deck now.
Yeah.
Should we do that right now? Should we just kind of wait a little bit
next summer?
Right. Yeah. Like dip a toe in the water, maybe not cannonball.
Right.
So yeah, that's a daily conversation now.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, well, okay, did you hear what Governor Wolf said? Did you hear what this person said?
Yeah.
All right, maybe we don't go do this. Maybe we don't go do that.
Well, and then even just the deciphering of information. Yeah. Like yesterday, there was breaking news that you have to wear a mask every time you leave your house now. I'm like, okay, wait, how is that different than what we were already supposed to be doing? But, I don't know. It just changes constantly, and you just don't know what's coming next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Nothing lasts forever.
Right.
Not even the good things.
Absolutely.
So
you're right. Yeah.
The bad won't even.
Right. Yeah. We just came full circle back to, we always think we got it figured out.
Exactly.
So
yes.
Awesome. Well, Ginny, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Loved talking to you. I was kind of nervous because I was like, I don't know much about hair and nails.
What are we going to talk about?
Anything, yeah. But it's all about just kind of getting these stories from like the people around here. I really want people to like get to know people.
And I love that.
And
I love
it's so much fun.
Because we all have a story. We're people behind the businesses. So
absolutely.
I appreciate you having me.
Sure thing.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks.